What is up, Entree fam? Welcome to our Friday live helpcast with me, your hostess with the mostess, Diana Gladney. I am pumped. I am full of coffee. I am full of breakfast, and I'm ready to top into today's live helpcast. I'm so pumped that you are here, whether you're live or on the replay. Thanks for being here. Today, we have the unique pleasure and opportunity of once again coming back together to answer your questions live here on the Helpcast. So if you want to hop on live, you can go to dyna.link/join to be able to hop on live if you want to show your gear, ask your questions, and things like that. We do this every Friday. We've been rotating around either 12 p.m. Central Standard Time or 12:30 or 1 o'clock these last couple days. So about 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. But if you're subscribed and you have the bell notification on, then you know all these things. And so I'm pumped and excited to be here, as I always am, to serve you. And on this channel, we help you simplify the video creation process by helping you reach wider and connect deeper with the people that need you the most. I believe video is the best way to amplify your business and your brand to share your message using video. So if that's something that you're into, consider subscribing. We have live in the chat Tish Bouvier. Is that right? No, probably not. Okay. Said, yeah, I'm here. Yes. I made it in time for the live show. Yes, indeed. You did. We have the AlexMinerOfficial.com in the building. What is up, brother Alex? Good to see you saying yes. Good to see you. We have the DrDennisPoulette.com or official.com. Good to see you. He's saying, hey, D. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. If you guys don't know, if depending on how the name sounds, I may say whatever your channel or your name is, official.com. It just behooves you all to just make that a URL that you own. So if people actually search that, something comes up. I probably need to go get the Diana Gladney official.com just for when that gets thrown back my way. But it's neither here nor there, but just so you're all aware, I can rhyme a little bit. I used to be a rapper back in the day. I didn't, but never mind. So I'm pumped and excited. It's been a bit of a little bit of a taking a breath, taking a breather. Got plenty of ideas and things that I'm working on right now. Creating a new show, real quick. It's just saying Bouvier. Cool. Bouvier, Tish Bouvier. Glad that you're here. Glad I got that pronunciation as well. Dennis saying we're not all as famous as you. I don't know how famous I am, shoot. Or if that comes with any perks. You know what the only perk, if like I was like for real, like famous or something, just like give me good coffee. Like when I go someplace, that's all I would want. You should like, can I have good coffee and a cookie? If we can do that, it was all worth the fame. Whatever that is. We have Peter, or it's not quite Peter. I don't think in our English dialect for the way that your name, I believe, is officially pronounced, just like my analytical brain going into like the historical reference of your name, because I'm familiar with that. But in my English dialect, Peter Fillet, good to see you, saying hello. Your videos are great. I learned quite a lot from them. Well, awesome. I'm so glad that the videos have been valuable for you. We have the AlexMinerOfficial.com saying, I rap back in the day. I remember seeing that from your thumbnails, just like he was like in the audience like this, one of those kind of moves, you know, just like how singers be like this on their album cover. So Alex was like this for the rap. It makes a difference depending on the pose. It lets people know, you know, where you at in the music game. So, okay. So Peter's saying, yes, you're right. I'm Polish, and Peter is pronounced Peter, indeed, or Peter, indeed. Awesome. Cool. So we have It's My Life, Darylyn. Hello. Good to see you, Darylyn. Glad that you are here. So I have an announcement, as I typically do every Friday. It seems like there's always something going on. So I had the idea. I'm completely biting this entire idea off of a channel that I admire, a company and a brand that's doing a similar format. But you know, what is like great artists steal and something else with the rest of the quote? I don't know. I just got the part of like where they say great artists steal. So we're going to work with that until I mold it into my own mojo, as you kind of get like get inspired from other people. But I had thought of wanting to do, again, more of a Q&A show. I have different segments and things that are on the channel. We have the regular, tutorial videos that are there, maybe sometime vlog content that will be there, like if I'm traveling or something like that, or just kind of got some things on my mind I want to share in vlog format. And we have those kinds of videos on the channel. We also have, again, various education bits around like tech videos, some video marketing content as well. And then we have the live helpcast instead of just a live stream, turn that into a helpcast so that we can have a dialogue back and forth. We also have the Camera Basics series kind of took a halt at the beginning of the year. That'll be something I pick back up because it's just needed. And then we have the How to in the Real World series that's on the channel. So that's the scope of the type of content that is currently on the channel. As I always am experimenting with things, like I said, I got inspired to create a new show. I want to see if this can potentially be a weekly show, but it's not just something I have to come up with. Most of the time as a content creator, you're researching your content, you're analyzing the things that is important to your ideal audience and viewer, and what are the things that they want, and you're creating content based around that to best serve the audience. And that is a lot of the you initially, and then you're producing it out to serve your community. Well, much in the same way I have enjoyed, and I think you guys have as well, the live helpcast where you have an opportunity to come on live like you do on these episodes and being able to engage and interact beyond just a comment if you want. And so I said, I really enjoy that. It's a type of a format that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And I kind of want to expand on that to have dedicated episodes, because as these run into an hour, 2-hour long live streams, even though I try to go back and add in those timestamps, it still can be a bit much. And I want to create a Q&A show. And so came up with the idea. Well, I didn't come up with the idea. I was inspired by the idea, which is this StreamYard is going to paste it over my face, but the video simplified Q&A show that will allow you guys to leave a actual audio recording. You go to Diana.link/message, and you'll be able to leave a quick few seconds message. I already have a few submissions to this as well. So if you're part of my email community, you got early access to this to be a part of those first few episodes. And so I already have those that'll be recording and should be starting to schedule out over the next couple of weeks, at least once, or could be two. Probably I'll stick with one episode a week. We go to Diana.link/message. It'll be where right there on the page, you can leave a message and ask your question. So the format of that would be, hey, this is Diana with EntreWoman TV. I had a question about YouTube. What's the best way to get to 500 subscribers or something like that? Or it could be something more tech specific or whatever. It wouldn't be tutorial based like the How to in the Real World series or regular tutorial would be, but a Q&A series. Again, I already have some submissions for this show from people that are already a part of the email community submitting that in. But that first video potentially will be dropping tomorrow, and then another one the next week, and whatever, and so on and so forth. So something I'm really excited about as far as content creation and being able to have a Q&A show, just one question, one answer, but it'll give you a chance to be featured on the channel and, give a little shout out to either your podcast or your YouTube channel. So I'm pumped about that. So we have a question here from Peter saying, how do you set up the Canon M50 or how to set up the Canon M50 for video? Great video. Thank you. Saying I bought the EOS 250D a month ago and learned a lot from your video because it's a similar camera to the one you have. Great job. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So that's the thing with a lot of the Canon cameras is that they are a lot very similar. Any of the DSLRs. So the T5i up to the T7i for DSLRs, at least here in America. I know they're like 500D, 600D, 700D. In other regions, this is how they have the naming scheme set up for whatever reason. And then it's a whole other name for like the Asian market. So I think it's like EOS KISS is for what the M50 is called, which is weird, but neither here nor there. So I know a lot of people sometimes will leave comments around like, okay, this is for the M50. Will this work for my camera over here? And if it's generally another kind of a Canon camera, it will probably work just fine. It's just maybe a slight difference in the menu settings or things like that. So as you guys also know, I got my new Sony A6600, a few more accessories and things came in, Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. Also got I don't like the really hot shoe replacement mounts. I just want extra replacements. This camera is kind of grippy enough, weighted well enough to where just because the IBIS adds extra weight. I don't want to replace the hot shoe and just kind of dangle it off to the side, because then I'm still only dealing with one. So what I got is this little bracket in this cage. Let me see if you can see that here. This bracket in this cage that's for the A6600. So this is the original hot shoe, and then you have one over here. Okay. One over here. And then you also have one over here as well at the top. So instead of relocating the hot shoe mount, I wanted just this bracket that connects so I could have three, because any kind of video work that I've done, which is why I think it's in my drawer, but it was like that small little kind of audio interface that sits in the hot shoe, to where it was battery operated. Comica CVM AX1, I think it's called. One would be good to have the Rode Wireless Go. Another one, I would use my shotgun microphone. Where are things in this office? My shotgun microphone would be in one. So yeah, it's like I may have the microphone here, I may have a light here, and I may have, again, an audio interface here. It's like I don't need just one hot shoe, I need multiples. So I went with something like this, because I don't really need a cage for this, because again, it will add for a little bit extra weight and stuff like that. I'm hoping I don't need a cage. I already got one for the A6400, which would fit. But again, it's like, I think this will be fine without one. And then two, it's like, I just hope that I don't have the same repeat like the M50, which is when I dropped it in Tennessee. It kind of messed up and got broken, which I still haven't replaced. But I got that. I got the Sony 16-70 f4 lens, which is incredibly sharp to be like an f4 and stuff like that. It's just amazing stuff. Dennis saying that lens is fire. Absolutely. I'm blown away, freaking blown away. It's serious business. It is worth the hype. Darylyn saying, dumb question. It's not a dumb question, Darylyn. I haven't even read it, but I'm going to say it's not. Where do I get on your email list? I am shamed for asking, but I want to be on the list. No shame here, unless you eat dark chocolate. But it's just, if you go to dianagladney.com, there at the website, you will see where you can join the email community, or even if you just download one of the free guides that I offer, like the M50 guide. Actually, we can share this on StreamYard. There we go. And so when you go to my website, you'll be able to see that you can go here. And if you download the Ultimate Guide to Live Streaming that's available, then that will put you on the email list. If you also go to the bottom here, there's where you can become an insider, an Entree Insider. And that's also another way that you can join the email list. But anytime you see me have or offer a freebie, something that you can download that's in exchange for joining the Entree Insiders email community. So it's just usually either getting some free or clicking that button at the bottom of the thing. So no worries. So Peter saying, are you streaming via the EOS webcam utility or using a capture card? I guess if so, what kind of capture card are you using right now? So I actually am not using the M50 at all. It's sitting right here on the desk, which since the other Sony's arrived, is getting plenty of shade these days, unfortunately. Poor gal. She'll be all right though. But so I'm not using the M50. I don't really use the M50, or I don't use the M50, and I haven't since last year. It was a camera that I was using like for vlogging and stuff like that. And no, it's probably not, because I'm for real team Sony so much. So, but yeah, I don't use the M50 anymore. And then I'm using the Sony A6400 35mm f1.8 lens, which is what you're looking at now. I use the Elgato capture card as well. So this is also, again, using StreamYard. It's not using, just so that you have the ability to hop on if you want and ask your questions, or like show me something about your gear, equipment, or setup or something like that if you need help. But I'm using StreamYard for this. So if I'm doing stuff like this, where it's like I don't need to run Ecamm to use it, I could, but I already own a capture card. So, and now to the fact that I have two cameras, I'm also looking at doing two angles, because I'm also looking into a few other things for, like, I've been buying a lot of equipment and gear because I'm forecasting that as more people are able to start getting back into working, other videographers, the rental houses will quickly run out of equipment. As the shipping dates become more normalized, I want to go ahead and just own the equipment. So, like, things like a Zoom H6, I don't want to have to rent another of those. I'm going to own one of those. Instead of a slider, I'm going to own one of those. Instead of, like, again, this would be a good thing for us, like, have some stuff coming up with clients who need to vlog. This would be a good sharp lens for that. In addition to a lot of other things that I'm purchasing. So just foreshadowing and forecasting, not foreshadowing, but forecasting that a lot of rental houses will probably run out of gear and equipment. It's not worth it to me to rent, because stuff will probably not be available in a few more months as things move forward. But yeah, I haven't touched the Canon for live streaming, like I said, in probably over a year for my actual live streams, just for the sake of like other tutorials and videos and things like that. But the same way I taught and have taught and went in depth with the M50 is what's about to happen for the A6600 and the A6400. But I needed multiple cameras to be able to pull it off. And so now that I have those, we're good to go. So Miss Eileen official.com. It's not our website, but Miss Eileen has a YouTube channel, so you can click on her name and check it out. She has a lot of great, helpful videos when it comes to just learning some software and things like that. When it comes to YouTube, been in the game for a long time and just like super experienced. So definitely go check out Miss Eileen. Saying hi, everyone. Hi, Diana. Hello, Miss Eileen. Good to see you. Saying, Diana, great to be on Rob's collab with you this week. Yeah. So Rob Balasabas, who is a part of TubeBuddy, he has his own channel. And if you go there, you will see that this last week, he produced a collab video, like how do you get to your first 1,000 YouTube subscribers, but not just the how you get there, but how would you get there faster? And so I had the unique opportunity and just pleasure of joining that alongside Miss Eileen and some other amazing content creators as well, just to be able to share and show, if I had to do it all over again, what would I do to get to 1,000 subscribers faster? And if I was doing it all over again, what would I not do? And so he asked everybody those two questions. And it's just like, I watched the whole thing. I think I watched it twice. And it was just so good. So let me show you guys. So this is Rob's channel, and you'll see him at times with TubeBuddy as well. And so this is this collab video that Miss Eileen was talking about. So really, really cool stuff. And then even like today, he had he has the live Q&A, stuff like that. So you'll see him doing his own content as far as like helping you with your tools and marketing and just all kinds of really amazing things. I've been kind of binge watching his content lately. So really, really cool. So Tish is saying, I just purchased the Sigma 16 for my Canon. Really cool. Awesome. Congrats on the new purchase. Said, still new to cameras and streaming. What's the difference between this lens and the Sigma 18 to 300 for live streaming? And so I would say what's different is I wonder if you're talking about the 18 to 200 f2.8. No, that's Tamron that came out with that. So let me see. What did you say? The Sigma branded lens, the Sigma 18 to 300. Let's pull up Amazon and see what that's about. 18 to 300. That sounds more like one of those telezoom kit lens-ish kind of a things. If let's share the screen here and y'all can see what I'm seeing. And then we'll get to some other questions that y'all are having. All right. And then let me pull your comment down for a sec so we can all see. So if we look at this, I think this is the lens that you're referring to. The thing with lenses is that when you have something like this 18 to 300, yeah, it'll give you the range, but this is just honestly a big kit lens. It's not anything really amazing. It's not that it'll be horrible. It's just that, I mean, it's going to be more of a less of a big kit lens. And so if you have where you can go from 18, which is pretty much what all basic, like that 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens with most of Canon's DSLRs came with. It's okay and it'll get you going, but it's like that super zoom range is like, are you going to need that really long range zoom? And then at the same time, it's not constant. So the Sigma 16 millimeter is going to stay at the f1.4 if you want it to. So it's like, for example, let me take that back. The Sigma 16 millimeter is a prime lens. It doesn't zoom. So you'd have to move in closer or move further away. And you have where it stays at f1.4. For example, this lens that you're watching me on right now can get down to f1.8, which makes the background even more blurrier than what it already is. Those lenses are much sharper. They're much crispier, just a better quality glass on the inside of here. Whereas if I take the kit lens, yeah, it gets to 16, but it's also an f3.5, and this is a cheaper quality glass, and it just doesn't look, it's not going to look as well. It could never look as good, as sharp, or what have you. Is it okay? Can you make still great content and stuff like that? Absolutely. But that f3.5 to 5.6, the more that I zoom in, like, and you've probably seen this on any of your cameras, like, so this is the Canon one. The more I zoom in, the more it goes from f3.5 all the way to 5.6. That means the image is getting darker and the background doesn't even have a chance of being blurry. You probably have to be outdoors, play around with a bunch of stuff to kind of get that kind of aesthetic to even have some level of blur, but you're never going to have something like this. It'll never look like this. So that 18 to 300 is not going to do anything. It's not really going to mean anything unless you need the range, but that's the difference. So you take a lens also, like you'll see, it used to be a couple years ago, everybody talked about the Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter f1.8 zoom lens or whatever. And so no matter if you're at 18 or you zoom into 35, it could stay at f1.8, which means it looks like this, is sharp, it's crisp, it's amazing, it's incredible quality. And no matter how much you zoom in or out, it won't get darker or brighter. It'll stay like it's those lenses are made so much better. Unless you just need the range of a 300 or 200, those lenses honestly aren't worth buying. It's just like, and honestly, camera stores will rip people off about that, about just buying, like I said, the 18 to 300. They'll be like, hey, yeah, your camera comes with an 18 to 55 millimeter lens. If you want to zoom in further, why not get this 55 to 200 lens? And it's just like, oh yeah, it's not really worth it, honestly. When are you ever going to need to zoom in like that? And then unless you're outdoors, it's going to get extremely dark. If your camera's too cheap, it's not going to give you the best reproduction in lower light situations. So it just winds up not really working out. It becomes a trash lens that you don't use. And that's just been my experience and other people's experience as well. It just kind of becomes a waste of money. James, good to see you, saying good afternoon. Well, good afternoon, my good sir. Glad that you are here. So we have, first of all, y'all gonna stop disrespecting me in this chat. Team Dark Chocolate out. Listen, I had a whole setup last week. I had a whole rant moment because the Chocolate Twist Yoga want to come in here, leaving. You know what? Everybody that says Team, if you agree with this, I'm gonna hack into your computer. I'm gonna hack into your account for YouTube just so I can unsubscribe you myself from the channel. I'm not gonna keep getting disrespected on my own live stream. Okay, I don't understand this dark chocolate nonsense. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. So, the Cutting Edge TV, good to see you, saying a question: have you tried the Hershey's white chocolate with almonds? Why my wife bought it, she likes it. I tried it, it was bomb. Her loss. Yes, of course I have. I even had the Kit Kat white chocolate. They have a birthday cake kind of one, but they have a white chocolate Kit Kat as well. It is kind of sugary, like, or whatever. So if you have sensitive teeth, it's going to be harsh. But yes, because white chocolate is a bomb. See, this man gets a gold star because the rest of y'all that agree with that dark chocolate nonsense needs help. Peter saying, yes, thank you. The quality is awesome. It looks really professional, like real TV. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Before and after the mix, good to see you. Glad you're here. Saying if I had to do it over again, I would take my time. Got my first 1K in less than a month. But now I learn they are graveyard subs. Ooh, yeah. So that's the only thing. Like, a lot of people will be like, and this is like, everybody has their own opinion of this. This is mine. And I'm very much so like yes or no on things. So my stance on that is that I think it's not wise to, if you're trying to get your first subscribers, to have family and friends and stuff like that, go ahead and subscribe, because they're not people that are going to watch the content. It's the same kind of a sub for sub, except they don't have a YouTube channel. They're just being friendly. I completely asked none of my family and friends to subscribe, like at all, because you're just trying to get that vanity metric of the checkbox of I have this number, but it's not actually going to do anything for you. Because yeah, you got the number of 1,000 or something like that, like the average person on Facebook, for example, or average person in general. I believe the statistics said that they have 200 friends in their phone contact list. That's probably more now, and you definitely have more than that on Facebook. But let's just say the baseline for everybody, no age difference included, there is 200 people that you know. If I had all 200 of those people, my auntie, my great auntie, my cousins, the ones that's younger than me, they may subscribe, but they're never watching. They're never engaging. They're never leaving a comment. So they become exactly like you said, a graveyard subscription, because they're not, it's doing no value. If they share it, they're probably still sharing it to a community of people that don't care. And we've all seen it and scrolled past it. So I don't agree with doing that, because it just doesn't matter. I asked my family, like, I appreciate it. And some that they watch and stuff like that. And at least they're watching. So that's a thing for those that actually care on their own. But it's like my auntie would comment, and God bless her. She's so much older, and I love her to death. Don't get me wrong. But she was like, "You're doing great, baby. Auntie loves you." It's just like, stop it. Stop it. I cannot build a community this way. This is not happening. And so for everything, and it's just like every live stream, lighting looking weird, video looking like, I remember one live stream, I was like lime green because a bunch of stuff was wrong. She's like, "You're doing great, baby. Auntie loves you." And so while we appreciate that stuff, it does nothing for actually building a community of people that you can take on along a progressive journey that you're actually helping for the core essence of why you're there. So yeah, I don't agree with the whole getting people that you know to subscribe or watch and stuff like that, because at the long term, at some point, they probably are going to unsubscribe because they're not watching. If they are on YouTube actively consuming content, it just doesn't work. You want to build a community. Build not just 1,000 subscribers, but 1,000 true fans of people that will know, like, love, and trust your content. You know, if you put something out, they're going to buy it. If you put a free thing out, they're excited about it. You know what I'm saying? Like how we all have favorite creators. Like, you want that built up as well. So it's not just like getting the vanity numbers. It's about building like a for real community. And so we have Chocolate Twist Yoga in the house. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Saying, what are your thoughts on vidIQ? I like vidIQ. I just don't, like, I tried using it, and I tried using it for quite some time, from the free to the paid versions and stuff like that. It feels kind of like a waste of money comparative to TubeBuddy. vidIQ feels like something that, and again, these are all my own opinions based on my experience, but these are also things that me and my clients, we use TubeBuddy. When I'm teaching them how to do stuff with YouTube and learning the analytics, reading the data to make better videos, that's actually going to get like all of that stuff that makes it work, ranking in YouTube, all of those different things. TubeBuddy is absolutely the way to go. Not just because I'm affiliated with them, which I am, which shameless plug. You can go to tubebuddy.com/Diana and you sign up for a free account for TubeBuddy. But I found in my experience as a creator, I don't get as much value out of vidIQ as I do for TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy actually makes a software tool that I can use for YouTube that actually not just gives me data in a pretty format to read and understand of what YouTube already gives you itself, because YouTube has hands down some of the best analytics. It's next to Facebook when you're trying to like understand your people and what's happening on your channel. vidIQ shares a bunch of stuff, in my opinion. TubeBuddy curates and creates an experience and makes stuff that actually helps you as the creator make better video content, understand your analytics and all of that. So TubeBuddy is way better, miles ahead of, in my opinion and in my experience. And just like, again, even paying for both, at the same time trying to use them, working with both of them alongside each other. I didn't get as much value out of vidIQ in the using it and it helping me in it shaving time off of my efficiency in the process of just being able to create better videos. I didn't get as much value out of vidIQ. I don't think it's bad. I guess it's, you know, different strokes for different folks, but I don't recommend vidIQ. I recommend TubeBuddy. So Daryl Lane saying focal length for 1. Tish saying yes. Alex saying he loves vidIQ. So again, a person that eats dark chocolate might love vidIQ, and that may be the consistency there. So no, but it's like the thing is though, different strokes for different folks. The way I operate, work, understand for all of that, TubeBuddy just serves all of the needs and the things that I have better. And like I said, it just feels like it's created for us, like for real, for real. Alex saying he loves vidIQ, but he also loves dark chocolate. So you really can't take his love. No, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. And chocolate says, yo, again, one of these days, I'm going to hire somebody from Fiverr to just help me personally hack into y'all account so that I can go through your subscriptions, and I'm going to hit the unsubscribe button for you for Entree Women TV. I will not be disrespected in this way. I'm telling y'all. I'm that. See the cut. See, listen, this brother right here, Jay. Listen, may the Lord bless you and keep you. It's for real. I'm telling you. Let me never have a meetup, because guess what the whole menu is? White chocolate items. We're not even eating real food. No chicken. No sweet potato. Just white chocolate on the menu. You got to pick between the variations. So, is it Delvine or Delvina? Potentially Pitt. Good to see you. Glad you're here saying, hey, I purchased an M50 for my live stream and heard that as long as I have a cam link, my sound will come from the camera. However, it's not working. So do I need to buy a USB mic? So that's a great question. And here is the thing with the M50. And I did a video on this as well. The M50 is not built for live streaming, unfortunately. The things that are native, like that you would experience and see out of one of these Sony cameras, is not the same on most of the Canon cameras. So while, yes, if a camera has clean HDMI out natively, you can get both audio and video from the camera. For example, y'all listening to my Samson Q2U USB microphone. So I'm using my Elgato Cam Link with my Sony a6400. It has clean HDMI out. So what I'm going to do is switch from this microphone to the audio coming from the Cam Link. So now you should be hearing audio coming not from this microphone, but coming from the Cam Link, because the Sony has clean HDMI out, and it also will transfer audio and video from the camera. So if I had like my Rode Wireless Go hooked up to the camera, I could be getting, I wouldn't even need this. That the M50 doesn't have that because it doesn't have clean HDMI out. So that's the problem. So you would need a USB microphone. It's not a cam link kind of a thing, like it gives you features or not. It's the camera has to have native clean HDMI out for that to work, because it's just not available. It's just like saying, you know, Maserati cars drive fast. No car will drive fast without tires. The M50 is missing tires, you know, in that way. So yeah, it's not that it's untrue to get audio via HDMI out. The M50, most Canon cameras can't do that if it doesn't have clean and native HDMI out, like actual native HDMI out. And you're clarifying saying, or can I use the mic that I attached to the camera and have that sound come from there? Yeah, again, from the M50, it wouldn't work. If I put this shotgun microphone, or again, I could literally go connect up my Rode Wireless Go to the camera, have that clip to my shirt if I was doing a live stream anywhere else and I didn't have this, and the audio would come from the camera and it would be fine, and just like normal videos, because it has the camera itself has clean HDMI out. Again, the Canons don't have that, so it's not a thing. Des is wrestling. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Saying I got a dummy battery, but my camera keeps turning off after a minute. What can I do? more or less your settings in the timeout or something like that for the display, the camera going to sleep or something like that is off. If you go to the video I did on the M50, like the last video I did is like the menus. There are timestamps in the description. Click on the one where it talks about that, like the display options, and it'll literally show you all the settings that I have so you can keep it awake for at its maximum amount of 30 minutes, because a dummy battery is not going to keep it awake. You need to change the setting. And unless you're streaming or connected via USB, like with Ecamm Live or something like that, or that camera webcam utility app or whatever, to keep the camera awake and busy, then it's still going to, like, the dummy battery. I don't know who's sharing that. I keep hearing this from people asking, like, the dummy battery will never make the camera stay on longer than 30 minutes. That the two have nothing to do with each other. I don't know who it is. I haven't been able to find the video on it or whatever, but the two have nothing to do with each other. Just because you have a dummy battery that gives you unlimited power, but if the camera is set to always go to sleep at 30 minutes, it's always going to go to sleep at 30 minutes. It may not turn off. It may still go to sleep. So it's not about the battery has nothing to do with it. So that's one clarification for everybody that's out there. James is saying, I'm new to streaming. What about using a Sony a7 III or an a7R III and a 24-70 f2.8 G Master for streaming? It'd be fine. Sony's have clean HDMI out. You could probably get a comparable look like this, if not better. It's nothing wrong with that setup at all. So let's see here. Alex is saying that you might run into some overheating issues depending on how long you stream. The difference is with the Sony cameras on the a7 III and like the a7R III and stuff like that, even to all the way back to like their Sony a5100 cameras, they don't have overheating when you're streaming with it. David and Luria, what is his last name? Is it David Frost or Freak? I don't know. I know it's David and Luria of Live Streaming Pros tested all of the Sony cameras out, like literally had all of them sent. Some of those older ones, like the a5100, a6000, a6300, or whatever, a lot of those older ones would have in recording overheating issues, but for live streaming, and I'm talking about extensive live streaming, they're not overheating because the camera is just on. It's not actually doing anything for like recording, processing 4K videos and blah, blah. It's not doing anything. So all of those cameras had no overheating issues when it's connected for live streaming, because all you're doing is having the camera on and the cam link or whatever capture card you're using is just sharing that feed. And so even for like Potato Jet, who literally likes to put cameras in the oven for some reason, like that's normal, we'll do that. And it's just like, yeah, it's got some overheating. It's just like, first of all, I would never be in a heated area that hot, or in like an area with no air. Like, where the hell are you doing videos, kind of a thing, to where you're going to take like a $5,000 or $1,000 camera and just like go into the pits of hell trying to do a vlog. Like, I'm like, even like at the worst, like St. Louis is super humid, it's hot, super muggy and stuff like that. So weather sealing and protection kind of helps with that. But I'm not like I don't, that's why I don't understand these tests that people do when it comes to that kind of overheating test. If I'm doing this, or it's a nice day or something, or even if it's a hot summer day and somebody like takes, and I'm out there doing a video, it's only so long I am going to be actually back there and actually doing something, because I'm going to get hot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't understand that. Kayla, good to see you. Glad you're here. Let me bring you on, sister. We got somebody hopping on, and then we'll go to the, back to the comments. But yeah, them overheating tests are kind of ridiculous in my opinion. All right. So I'm bringing you on in 3, 2. What's up, Kayla? You are muted. You got to unmute yourself.
I am muted.
Okay.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I wasn't expected to be on here, but okay. Hey,
let's go for it.
I'm turning this light on so you can see me. I'm on my the MacBook Air, so my stuff is not as pretty as your stuff, but
girl, you fine.
Yeah. But I am starting to make videos of myself now, of me talking about different things and stuff. And I was initially just going to use my MacBook Air camera, initially, but I do want to start having like video equipment and things like that. And I know that you do have a lot of knowledge about video equipment and things, and a lot of videos about it. But you know, just starting off, I know you've already answered this question, but I don't have a lot of money.
Sure.
So anything under $100 type camera that has really good video, what would you suggest?
At that point, I would say, honestly, it's like anything like sub 3,000, even sub $500. Honestly, I would say you're at that point. We're not looking at buying a camera because there's really no camera on the cheap like that that's going to kind of be worth it. Because you're still going to be running into a lot of limitations. Yeah, you could have one for the sake of having one. I don't think it's really worth it at that point. I think, though, while you do have something, it's like, okay, I do want to up the quality some. I think at that point, we're looking at audio equipment, like finding a good microphone, whether it's something like this, that's like $45, kind of a microphone that you're using to connect to your computer, or something like this that will be, you could use for both your phone, your laptop. It'll connect to all of those things, and you could use it for when you get a camera, but it gives you a little bit more flexibility and stuff like that. And that's like $30. And then we're looking at lighting, because no camera is going to look well in the dark. So we are looking at something like a $60 or $100 lighting kit potentially, and if you find them used, it's cheaper. But those are the things that I would say, because you can use your camera on your laptop, literally clean the lens or something and make it look a little bit better. Or really, the thing to do is using your phone, because most of us have phones that probably at retail are like $1,000, $500, or just even $200. So we already have a really good camera. The camera on the front facing that you'll be able to see yourself with the screen and all that is not as good as the camera on the back. So we're just getting, I think we're getting accessories and like a good microphone and a good lighting setup, so that if something happens, let's say get raised at a job, whatever, money comes in, whatever, then it's just like, okay, now I got like 500 or 600. Now we can get like a camera that's going to last you like for some years, and not just buying something for the sake of buying something, because those cameras create more frustrations than honestly that they're worth. They may not have a microphone input. They may overheat or whatever. And it's like, or you're like, Dad, why can't I get my video look like however you envision? And it's like, you need a lens. And then you look at the lens price and it's like, well, crap, that's $300-$400 itself. And it's just like, yeah, it's not going to happen. So at that point, I would just say, we're using a phone. We're using the camera on the back of the phone. We're getting a tripod. We're getting a great microphone. And we're investing in some lighting and things like that. Because surprisingly, you can get some really, really great looking videos with the phone that you already have. Get a little cheap $16 Amazon Basics tripod that you can use, a microphone that's versatile enough to use in multiple situations, and a good set of lights. So that way, when the time comes, you can get a camera. All that other heavy lifting stuff that's honestly more important than the camera is there. And then just keep your eye out for, it's just like, if something like, for example, I found an M50 before that was $300. It was used. Somebody just like, they got it as a gift. They didn't want it anymore. It could have been a drug dealer's camera for all I know. I have no idea, but I wasn't asking no questions neither. So, you know, it's like, you can watch Facebook Marketplace. You can watch Craigslist and all that. And there's search engines that you can use to see if it's stolen. That one wasn't, thankfully. But if you see something like that, like if I'm selling mine at the camera store, they're not going to give me these cameras are like $499 now. They're not going to probably give me $300. So if I sold mine for $300, it's just not, I'm just not using it. So those are good ones to look forward to. Yeah, there are some DSLRs out there, but the audio sucks. And so now you're looking to fix. That's why I said it's not really worth it at that point. But keep your eye on Facebook Marketplace. You see one out there that is, you know, maybe a couple $100 more or something like that is something you can stretch for, then so be it. But that's what I would say. Look, get a microphone, get some lights, get a tripod, use your phone, or if you're using your laptop, you know, just clean the lens off and raise it up so that it's at eye level and start there. It's more than enough to get you going.
Okay. Okay. And sorry about that. I'm at work.
Oh, you fine?
That's what I'm trying to not do.
Hey, listen, I cannot hate because I promise you, I worked for the bank and I worked for me at the same time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so ain't no shade over here. I respect it 100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I will
Absolutely.
get myself off of here.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Super dope. I love that so much because it's like work for you and work for your company and stuff like that as well. Just like getting it in. I respect it 100%. So Dean is correcting me saying David Foster. Yeah, David Foster. I don't know why I can't ever remember his last name, but yeah, that's my thing there. We got Shalise in the house. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. So let me scroll back up because I think I skipped accidentally. So we're gonna skip past these disrespectful Team Dark Chocolate posts. And okay, so answered those questions, answered the dummy batter question, the A73 question, more disrespectful dark chocolate posts. Alex is saying in regards to vidIQ, he said he likes vidIQ more than TubeBuddy, but this is also a man that eats dark chocolate, which is dumpster trash candy. So take his comments less than grains of salt. Okay. I'm gonna do a whole rant video on Alex for this right now because it's my brother from another mother. But no, he says he like vidIQ versus TubeBuddy. He feels like the keyword tools and analytics breakdown are better. Interesting. I would say they're helpful. I just don't see them as being more helpful, if that makes sense. I think initially it's easier to see what you're looking for, maybe, but then it's just not. I don't feel like it goes as in depth. I think TubeBuddy has more, and people probably look at it and they're like, "Oh my goodness, I can't. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at." And it's like literally take 15 minutes, go watch some tutorials that they have and stuff like that, and you're good to go. So that's what I would say. So we don't listen to Alex Miner any longer. We don't recommend that you click on his name and go check out his amazing YouTube channel because brother is gifted out here in these streets. And then so be enjoy. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Saying, can you say your affiliate link? Yeah, again, sure. So it is tubebuddy.com/Diana if you want to do that. And I have already, again, I needed 2 cameras to do some of the tutorials and things that I'm doing. So now that I have them, then that will work for me. And so doing some more Sony content, doing some more TubeBuddy content, Ecamm Live content is coming. Hashtag all the things, but tubebuddy.com/Diana if you want to check out a free trial of that. It's what I teach my clients anyway for doing stuff. And then Dean is saying, I'm hands down a TubeBuddy guy. That's why you're my guy, Dean. I'm telling you. So Delvine is saying, I got the Rode Wireless Go. Shall I get a refund? It's not bad. It's not anything really wrong with it. Let's say you're trying to use this. Oh, because I only one person gave me, which I can share that with y'all now. Where's my phone? One person, because I've been trying to figure out how can I take and connect the Rode Wireless Go to a laptop so that if you want to use that for live streaming and stuff like that, how can you? Other than using an audio interface or something like that, that's the only thing I found to work. However, I did have one of the community members shoot me a message on Instagram, which I'm finna pull up so I can show y'all the link and give you the link on Amazon, that she bought, goodness me, she bought a little audio device, a little adapter that you can plug into your computer that had like a headphone jack on it, even though your computer may have one. But she said she connected it and it worked. So I actually need to order this so I can test it out for myself, figure out what other things may be available. But I found it amazing. So many gosh darn messages on Instagram. Freak. All right, let's go to, I'm going to find it. Okay. And this, what was it? It was a USB-C hub. All right. So let me share this with y'all real quick on the screen. Cause I think it's amazing. Cause if this works, which she's saying that it is, if this works, this is like a big problem solver because the Rode Wireless Go's are already amazing. And if we can just get that to work with a laptop, amazing. So I think it's just something that either, and again, I only have the Mac to try this out on. So let me show y'all. This is the little device. It's a USB-C hub, and it has a lot of connections and things like that. And this is she's in another country, so you will see the pricing in euros and not in dollars, depending on where you are. But it has a bunch of different ports, which is just kind of freaking amazing stuff for your monitor and all of that. But it has this headphone jack in there. But she was saying that she bought this. This is the only thing that she bought that actually works, so that when she connects her Rode Wireless Go, it actually picks up the audio. When I connect my Rode Wireless Go into my laptop directly, it doesn't work. So unless you have a camera that has clean HDMI out like the Sony's, and you can just pull that audio from HDMI that way, there's no way to connect it to the computer. I know there's another video that this guy did on YouTube showing that, and it didn't work. He was like, it worked, did great. And it's just like, no, you're in proximity to the microphone, because if you listen with headphones, it's just like it didn't change. It went from room audio to room audio, and it was no difference in proximity. So when we switched from the camera audio, and y'all heard what that sounded like, to the microphone, like the proximity effect of how close I am to this mic versus that one, it was a huge difference, very different. Whereas it sounded like it came from the camera before, and then he switched and he was like, and now we're using the Rode Wireless Go, and it was still I'm like, the audio didn't change that, so that didn't actually work. And I've tested it, so it's like that don't work. So I need to get that this little device here just to see if this will work, if they have just like a regular USB version for that, and using it, because if it works, then it's going to be freaking amazing. Like seriously, just the idea of being able to, one, have something that you can use, to have another headphone jack in if you need it, but something that actually will work to connect the Rode Wireless Go's. I think it's amazing. So we got a super to chat from Chocolate Twist Yoga. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. $30. Holy cow. So thank you so very much. I will use every dollar, okay, for white chocolate purchases. Just throwing it out. No, just kidding. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. So Udron, good to see you. Glad you're here. Saying, is streaming a Zoom meeting or webinar live on YouTube a workaround for YouTube's restriction on live streaming via cellular signal for creators with less than 1,000 subscribers? I'm not really sure. I've never honestly experimented much with the live streaming on a phone for YouTube. I know that D Niman has a lot of tutorials out there for it. If there is a way, let me see if I can find his channel, because I believe he found an app that even if you're under 1,000 subscribers, you don't have to do a whole bunch. You just use the app to sign into YouTube, and you stream from your phone the same way. And he does a lot of smartphone videos. So let me see if I can find that really quickly. But I'm not familiar with using Zoom's webinar feature for live streaming, because I use stuff like Ecamm, or I use stuff like StreamYard already. And most of, or all of, my live streams are from desktop. So to get around it, I want to see if D Niman has one real quick. And D has an amazing channel if you're trying to figure out stuff when it comes to smartphone video and content and things like that. And so when, let's see if he does, has something, 1,000 subscribers. So if y'all don't use this feature on desktop, like this little search bar for people's channel to find better videos, or to find specific videos that you're looking for, that's the way to go. And so let's see here. YouTube mobile live streaming 2019. So I would look up at one of these. This one probably is it. Yeah. Yep. So this is the video here. See if I can drop this, copy link address, and I'll drop this in the chat for you guys. But that video should help with being able to bypass that and just sign in with a different app instead of having to worry about YouTube giving restrictions around that. I think it's kind of silly, honestly, but it is what it is. All right. let's see here. Okay, so Shalise is saying these phones do amazing to start off for video. Agreed. Absolutely agree with that. We have Felicia Alston in the house. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying, hi, Diana. Is it possible to get clean HDMI with the M50 using Ecamm and Zoom? Thanks. So, again, it's not, I think we should clarify. Clean HDMI out natively on the M50, like as we've seen time and again, which why we run into so many issues, it does not natively have clean HDMI out. We're doing hacks and workarounds to kind of get around that. So there's really no such thing truly as clean HDMI out on the M50. It's just more or less hacked HDMI out feed through the M50. So if we're using Ecamm though, then I wouldn't even try to connect via HDMI at all, honestly, because there's no point. We know we can get the clean feed from the camera using USB. And if we're sharing that into Zoom, then you can just share that Ecamm live virtual camera feed into Zoom. You don't need to do anything else as far as that's concerned. You don't need a capture card. You shouldn't be connected via an HDMI. If at ever you're using a Canon camera and you're using it for live streaming and you have Ecamm Live for the virtual camera, and you need to share that, it's just so much easier to use Ecamm or something like that, or even Canon's webcam utility webcam app or whatever is available for both Mac as well as Windows as well, or PC, whatever, it don't matter. So, but yeah. So Eric Puzia, not sure if I butchered that or pronounced it correctly, but hopefully you can correct me down below. Saying, where is your backlight position? Is it on the floor, shining onto the wall? So what I have going on behind me over here is a lamp that's sitting on the floor, but it's a relatively nice sized lamp that just sits behind the bookcase. It has a IKEA light bulb thing. I don't even know what it's called, but it has this remote. If you can kind of see, I know it's kind of bright, but it just has this little remote that if I want to turn it on or off, I can. And if I want to change the light, it's like a smart light bulb. If I want to change the color of it, I can. The other one that is behind the sofa is positioned on some file boxes that I have. And it is on like a little stand like this. It's a little light and it's bouncing off of the wall a little bit. And that's pretty much it. I do have this other light. You could use something like this, like I had did my unboxing for this Andy Cindy R1 RGB LED light. So this light, about to blind. All right. So this one, let's see here, change the modes. So this one can change colors a bunch, and you could get one of these and just bounce it off. And you can see how it's changing colors and stuff like that. You're able to get a little bit different look and things like that. So you could take one of these and work with that, put it on a little stand. It has a tripod stand at the bottom, and you can bounce that off the wall. And just the brightness probably would affect, how much of it you're seeing. But I just have it raised up some because it doesn't make sense to kind of set it on the ground. And so Ronowit, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, but welcome to the stream. Glad that you're here. It's saying, can I get clean HDMI with the M50 and Magic Lantern install? No idea, because I don't use or even recommend Magic Lantern, just because it has butchered some cameras back in the day before. So I honestly don't know. I just would say be careful with that. But I don't know all of what's possible with that because I do not play in that space. So Delving is saying, oh wow, I just literally purchased that. Amazing. I will try it. I'm from the UK too. Oh, well, awesome. Cool. Yeah, hopefully that works. Please let me know if it does. The Cutting Edge TV saying, I believe there's a 3.5 millimeter splitter that splits into the mic and the headphones. So you should be able to hook up the Rode Wireless Go mic to that input. I have one. I have a ton of gear just for my video production work. And so I already have a splitter, 3.5 splitter that'll go in there. It didn't work. And so it's not a TRS, which is mostly for cameras. It's not a TRS kind of a thing, which is mostly for smartphones or computers. I've tried every kind of combination. So when I did that audio video, thus far, those are the only ones. And then I got the message before on Instagram about that little adapter working, which I'd have to see if they have in the US. It may be something worth picking up if it works. But other than that, I have not found it to just like direct connect or something small to do it. And then, you know, if it does need to be some other kind of different splitter or adapter, what is necessary? What are we looking for specs wise to kind of just be able to better identify it? So that's the only thing that I'm thinking about as far as like finding one that works. Prabhat P, good to see you. Glad you're here. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it. Like, yeah, just got give me a little grace on the pronunciation or hashtag butchering of your names. I apologize. I'm not doing it intentionally. Saying, hi, Diana, does using a speed booster distort the image? I have not found that it does. I think it's just amplifying more or less the image that is coming from the sensor. And so for those that are kind of wondering, what is a speed booster? A speed booster is this adapter so you have the M50, you have the camera. You see that you see like how blurred it is. It's a glass element in there. So it's not just a regular adapter, and I don't have the other adapters back there. So it has a little bit of glass in between there. You see it's kind of like somewhat magnified. I don't find that it distorts the image or does anything to it. So it basically kind of gives you from, this is an APS-C, that medium style type mount or look or whatever. You put on the speed booster, and now you see you get that it's a glassed image that you can see on the screen there. It's just kind of amplifying what's already there. I've not found that it distorts it. The biggest thing about distortion I've found, in my opinion, is going to be more predicated on the lens than the speed booster. As long as your speed booster is clean, the glass element is clean, it shouldn't impact negatively like that for real. And I've not found where if it does do anything, it's significant enough for anybody to know. You'd have to be a pixel peeper and zoom in a ton to be able to see it. So Chocolate Twist Yoga saying, I'm still not able to adjust my shutter speed for video beyond 100 or 125th of a second. I'm trying to get it to 160. Any thoughts on what may be going on? Thank you for your help, Diana. Well, my pleasure. So if you are, which she has the Sony a6400 for those that are curious. So if you're stuck where it's like, I can't adjust things, it would have to be something similar to like I saw when I restarted my M50, because I was trying to figure out how is it that everybody that sends me a picture asking for help on the M50 and they're saying something similar, is like they're all stuck at that 125 as well. I'm like, how are you even getting there and stuff like that? So I reset my camera, went back through that process. I would think it's something like a automatic setting that's there, probably not the dial on the top, because I know when we talked, it's not that dial is already set to movie mode. I think there's like a movie exposure mode or something like that to be in an automatic setting, similar to like, again, the M50 had that. Like you can be in an aperture priority, you can be a manual movie automatic. I think it's something like that. Before I jump into any Sony tutorials, because it will help cover the basis of a lot of problems that people are having, I'm not going to go into a tutorial on the menu systems. I'm just going to share what I have my stuff set at, and then you can change it accordingly so that when I do these tutorials, we're all starting at the same baseline if you have a Sony camera. And so I don't know what to tell you to change just yet. Like I would have to get my hands on it. I'm not resetting. I did that once before thinking I'm going to do the same thing. Like I just reset. My Sony is so customized. It was hell and a half trying to put everything back together again in a Humpty Dumpty form. I'm not doing all of that. And it was easier to put my A6400 together, which I botched the unboxing video for that. So that officially became B-roll content. So I would have to go through. I'll try to see, because I think it was like a couple weeks ago I did that M50 video for the menu. I should be able to go through the Sony one now and just go through and show you all of the things that I have so that you can change it. But yeah, the only other person that could probably, or that does that I know that I would trust to send you to, is Jason Vong. He has videos on setting up your Sony camera. honestly, I don't even know why I should do one if he already got one for real. It's just like Jason is like the Sony freaking grandmaster, and I'm gonna pull up his channel and I can show that and share that with you guys. So this is Jason Vong. He's been a Sony shooter for the last several years. So we're gonna go back to this search bar and so set up Sony camera and see what comes up. But he really already has one on all of this. So the A7 III got, or this, here we go. I'm not doing one. Merry Christmas, y'all. So, because pretty much there's very few things that he changes that I have changed just for the sake of my own shooting style. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Jason Vong gave us the gift of me, this video already done, 41 minutes of my life saved, and then some for editing and recording. So this is the video that I'm sharing in the chat. I'm probably even going to add it to the playlist. Like our good brother Jason Vong.com has already done the video. But this is what I would say. Like literally, he walks through every menu, same thing like I would do, and showing you what he has his stuff set up to do. It's very few things that I have changed, honestly. And I mean, y'all could vote against this. Put it yes or no in the comments if you still want me to do one. I don't know why, but Jason already did one. And there's very few things that I would say start from the beginning and go through, make those changes, because it's very little amount of things that he does that I don't do to make those changes. So our good brother Jason Vong has blessed us all this day. But that's what I would say do. So we have My Castle Life. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying howdy. Glad to see you're up and teaching amazing content as usual. Well, as always, brother. Appreciate you being here. Glad that you're here. And then Ujaran saying I can live stream on Zoom on my laptop and linking to my cell for remote live streaming there. Got you. Well, the thing is, it's like it just really depends on what you need and what you're trying to do. Some things I honestly never experiment with. It's just like I just don't. I may not have a use case for it. I don't. It's not a whole lot I can teach on, and I try not to teach on things that I'm not really fully competent in. Just to make sure it's like if you need help, I can actually help or reply competently to those things. I don't like to do something just for views or because a lot of people are searching for it, but like, can I actually help with that? So it's like, and that's one of those areas just like I'm really not good in because I don't use Zoom other than for conference calls with my clients, my coaching clients. Beyond that, it's kind of like I've not experimented with the whole. I know some people use Zoom webinar and send it to Facebook. Some people use it for YouTube. It's probably something to look into, but I was hoping YouTube would fix their live streaming features and things like that. So My Castle Life is saying the pink background looks awesome. Why? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And we have M. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying, hey, Diana, is it possible to embed your live stream directly to your own website? I have tried all the embed codes, and YouTube says you can't embed a live stream. Help, team light chocolate, LOL. Yes, you can actually, and I do that for these as well. Let me see here. I'm trying to think. DanaGladney.com / what is it? Join live, I think it is. So let me see if I can pull this up here. Yep. So I use, and I think this is kind of universal for anything or anybody kind of. I use Kajabi for my website hosting. And so if we share the screen, that's not it. It's this one. So this is like if you go to DanaGladney.com / join live. Once the live broadcasts are over for these live helpcasts, I removed the link for you to be able to hop on live to actually come in and like ask your questions and things like that. And it'll take you to this page on my website. Right now we're live. This video is available on my website right now. So I'm saying, and you're saying the same things that's there before. We could scroll back and see the previous stuff. So this is live on my website. If this was the only way to view this, then, here you go. But yeah, it's actually there and it's embedded in. What you do is when you go to YouTube, let's go over to the actual channel. And if you haven't hit the like button already, smash the like button, press it gently, whatever you do, or whatever tickles your fancy. So when we come over to YouTube here and we click on this share button, which this is under any and everybody's thing, what I'm doing is I'm going not to just this link here, but the embed code part. And I'm going to capture all of this stuff and hit the copy. Once I go actually, oh crap, y'all didn't see none of what I just did, huh? So, because StreamYard, I forgot. So let me switch screens here. This is something StreamYard got to fix, man. So Chrome tab, Friday Live Helpcast. All right. So now y'all can see. So what I did was backtracking here. If you go over to any website, let me make sure y'all seeing what I'm seeing. Okay. If you go over to any website, you'll have like where you can, and like I said, this is actively playing live on the YouTube channel right now. If you go to YouTube, you hit share. You're not using this here. You're going to this embed. Every website, anything has where you'll see the dot, not even dot, but an HTML, like Harry, Tom, Mary, Larry, kind of a thing. HTML. I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to go over to my website like I was showing you before, and I'm going to paste in that feed into that spot. So I'm looking for the dot, not even a dot, I keep saying dot. I'm looking for this space. So on my website, if I go in the back end, it'll say, hey, you have the font text here if you want to edit this, and then you can have a space for a video. What do you want to add? I'm going to a text box, and then I'm going to click on HTML, and I'm going to paste in that code that YouTube gave me. That's all that you're doing. You're just finding where you can put in source code or like a text box where you would write normal stuff. And you usually have like a greater than, less than looking symbol, which is like your area for the HTML. And you're clicking on it so that you can see that. Let me see real quick, because I know this is something that people want to do at times. Let me see if I can go to this actual page and I can show y'all what that looks like. Because it's not anything that's like, hell, I hope nobody can hack. So shoot, for the sake of trying to be helpful out here in these streets. But it's very, very easy. You don't have to be super nerdy to do this at all. If that was a paid, like let's say this is a paid group session, I'm doing it live on YouTube or something like that, but it's unlisted. It's not live on the channel. I'm going to go and I'm pulling up the stuff in the back end here. And I want to make it so, and I do this with my clients sometimes if they're doing live trainings, they're not trying to do a Zoom kind of a setup, because Zoom sometimes is just clunky. They're trying to use YouTube. You're already paying for Ecamm. It just makes sense. It's actually a great way to do that. So let me go back here. All right. So now let me share my screen with y'all, and then I can show you how to do this. Kajabi. All right. So now we're in the back end of my Kajabi website on this page that I just showed you guys. And so, like I said, if I want to change the text, then I can go over here, but I want to click edit here. So this is a text box. Like I said, it's just a text box. This greater than, less than symbol for source code. And all I'm doing is clicking there, and I would copy and paste the stuff that they gave me, but that's not what I have. But I would put this all in from YouTube that it gave me. I hit OK, I hit save, and then that's how you get the video over here. I could embed any video that I would want for my website by doing this, by simply going to just a text box. Like this one is a text box. All I'm doing though is looking for this greater than, less than symbol, which is the one for HTML or source code. I'm clicking on that, pasting in exactly what YouTube gave us, copy that and paste it directly, and that shows up immediately. So every week, this page updates to the latest live helpcast and things like that. So this is available on just about any website. If you're using WordPress, Kajabi, Google, doesn't matter. All of them will help you in doing that in essence. So let's see here. Oh crap. Yeah, voting. So okay, let's see here. Oh, let me scroll back up because I missed some comments. So Matt saying, how do you mediate the glare computer monitors have? Why am I reading so retardedly or just stupidly? It just like I don't understand what's happening. Give me a second. I can read English. One moment. So rebooting. So how do you mediate the glare computer monitors have on eyeglasses when you're doing live streaming? So the secret with that is not really a secret. It's just about angles and angles essentially. If I have my laptop angled so that it's at different parts, you'll see like, well, you can't even really see it, but it's just like the way I need to look, the way I'm sitting, you're not going to see it because the laptop is not sitting straight up like this, is angled slightly backwards so that it moves from being showing directly on the lens to up for the reflection. So the reflection, otherwise, if it's just straight on, is coming directly at me. I don't want that. If I slightly just tilt the angle of my laptop screen or even my monitor, it takes the glare from being on the glasses to even up here, reflecting off of like my eyebrows, forehead, or something like that. And so you can see lights here, like little light areas here, reflecting on my face. That is the light. That's the light coming from the monitors or whatever. It's not on me. So while I can look at, I would have to literally get to a point to where like you can kind of see a reflection in my glass there a little bit. I'd have to be at that angle. At some point, again, I'm just figuring out how can I gently move the laptop so I can still see it, read it, and all those things. And then for lighting, I'm using diffusion. The lights are still relatively close, maybe about 2 steps away, 2 steps away. I have one over here. I have one right here. Angled, how the light is angled or it being diffused also softens that light on my face so that I'm not getting, again, if I take this light here, which, goodness me, why am I about to do this? But if I take this light here, you can kind of see it now reflecting. This is what's happening on the laptop. So literally this light was the laptop, you can see that glare. Whereas if I angle up, like if I'm, now you see it's not there, kind of a thing. So that's the same thing I'm doing. So instead of it being angled at a point to where it's reflective in my glasses, one, the light would be diffused. So similar to how this sheet of paper could now act as diffusion to soften that light. I'm now angling it differently so that you can't. So that's kind of what's happening with the lights and stuff like that. So that's how I deal with that. And it's just like once you set up and you find, oh, I'm getting a glare, I just tilt my laptop a little bit, tilt the lights a little bit, and even go to the extent of marking on the floor so I don't have that problem. So that's what I would say. So Cutting Edge TV saying, wow, okay. So as far as the TRS, so J Brooks 12 Web saying this I guess you mean TRRS splits the mic and the headphone. Yep. So 3.5 millimeter splitter works on my Sony A6600 with headphones and a recorder. Yeah, it works fine for cameras. I have no problem with the Sony cameras. Like honestly, I've even taken that splitter cable, like I showed in that audio video, put it into the headphone area of this microphone, and I can send that audio from this microphone, this USB microphone, to my camera directly. And so it's a lot of flexibilities audio wise, but I think it's something that they would have had to have done within the road. I think I'm going to buy the Comica Boom XD that's very similar and see if that would work. Because I want to see, I know Andy Cindy, we were kind of working through trying to see if maybe that may be something, but I may just go ahead and get one before they send me one if possible. So James is saying, what USB microphone do you recommend? I did purchase a mic, to recommend on Amazon. I don't think that you can go wrong for USB microphone wise from the Samson Q2U or the Audio-Technica ATR 2100s microphone. I think those are the gold standards when it comes to doing something like that. Let's see here, Samson Q2U. Let's see what the price is on that now. Man, my face been oily as heck lately. So, crap, they are out. Unfortunately, these things been selling like hotcakes. So, USB microphone recommendation. This is the Samson Q2U. This is the one that I use. I also own the Audio Technica ATR 2100, but this one usually runs for like $54 or something like that. I don't understand why. So this is price gouging at this point because it ain't no $120 nowhere. This microphone usually runs for so much cheaper. I don't even understand why. But if we go back and we look at the Audio Technica ATR 2100X, $99, it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely worth it. But again, I know that this microphone is half the cost and it sounds really, really good, like what you're hearing right now. It also has that XLR port on there, all the things. But that's what I would recommend, a Samson Q2U or the Audio Technica ATR 2100. I think, like I said, those are the gold standards when it comes to USB microphones and things like that. My Castle Life is saying Sony cameras are amazing, but the menus suck. Honestly, surprisingly, that was kind of like, in my opinion, I feel like that's a myth now. It used to be true, just like the overheating thing was a problem with Sony, and that kind of like followed them along for a long time. Unfortunately, I feel like they're not bad because they all have the same stuff. From you have one tab. If you look at your camera, like you literally could look at your camera right now and look at it. The first tab is going to be photo-based settings. Unless you're taking pictures or needing to just basically set up those basic things for when you switch over to a photo mode, all that stuff is more or less going to be around taking pictures. The second tab is going to be more or less around not photos, but video and some stabilization stuff. And maybe some audio stuff, but more video focused things. There are a few on the tail end of that first tab that may be necessary for when it comes to video, but it's like otherwise, the first tab is primarily photo based. The second tab is primarily video based and some audio settings, things like that. The third tab is the same stuff like all of them have, which is like, hey, when you review the playback button or hit the play button to watch the video clip or look at your photo, what would you like to see? It's the same thing. Then you have a setup menu like that's around your Wi-Fi settings for like, hey, when you connect to the camera, do you always want to be actively connected, or do you want to have to go in and take a picture of the whatever thing and do it that way? It's just basic things. Or like, hey, how do you want to name your folders? It's just like actual setup menu based things in general. And then you have the My Menu tab, which is the things that you would commonly use. Like I said, it's the exact same setup as the M50, honestly, as the Canon cameras. First tab, photos. Second tab, video. Third tab, setup or preview for your playback stuff, which I never even changed any of that stuff. Third one, settings, like for Wi-Fi. Put your name in there, register your face or whatever. And then the My Menu. It's the same setup as the M50. First tab, photos. Second tab, it's the exact same setup. That's why I was just like, what are people complaining about? Yeah, it's more in there. So where it's like maybe 5 or 6 little sub menus in the M50 or a Canon camera, it's like 12 in the Sony cameras because they can do more. It's like, yeah, it has all of these amazing things. There are some more options that you have because the camera can do more. I did an interview last night with my buddy Dan Norton for his entrepreneur group that are video editors, and just kind of giving them some tips and advice on, going full time and just kind of sharing my story and all that stuff. And while I was live streaming, like I'm doing now, I also was internally recording so I could have a copy of that for myself. And so I can record for as long as I have battery life and memory card space in the camera and simultaneously live stream. The M50 don't have nothing on that. No Canon camera has nothing on that. So it's like the fact that there's another menu so that you can do some of that stuff. Hell yeah, it needs to be, so I just like, for me, I just kind of think that's like an old school myth. Maybe some of the older cameras probably sucked, but the new, like A6400, A6600, A7 III, it's the same setup. I don't see that. So saying if Sony adapts their menu like with Canon, then we'll be unstoppable. I just think they just need to make it touch. Like the fact that you can't touch the screen, So we got a vote here saying yes, do your version of the I don't know about all of that. So, and then Chocolate Twist Yo saying that video gave me a headache. From Jason, he talks too fast, runs through the meme. Please do one. So that's 2 votes. And said the video from Jason made my head spin. He talks, flies past. Like, man, yeah, do yours, but yours are very good. Okay, so that's 3 votes. We'll see. And J Brooks 12 Web saying there is a Ugreen 3.5 male to headphone splitter Y that splits it to a headphone and a mic input. I'm just going to say, okay. It's like if they're, and I know Ugreen is a brand, and if they have a splitter, I'm just wondering if, again, is it something that splitter needs to have for the Rode Wireless Go to work, to make that make sense for what you're trying to do with the Rode Wireless Go and in connecting it to the computer? I honestly don't want to spend a bunch of dollars on little stuff that may or may not work. And it's just like, I don't see them having any kind of technological differences. The little USB adapter, I could see that having some different stuff because it has a bunch of different connecting options. But I wonder, for splitters, I don't really think it is, but I could be wrong in that. So I'm trying to get educated on this. So we'll see. MMM is saying, I tried that and I got an error that says I can't embed a live stream. Check maybe with your settings potentially. I would say check maybe with your settings potentially. Excuse me. And MMM saying, thank you. You're welcome. Saints News Network saying, LOL, laughing at me for some reason. And we have Muhammad Good saying, hello, Diana, how are you doing? Great to see you again. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Doing well. And Tish saying, do you use an Elgato Stream Deck? No, I do not. And he said, if you would make a video on how you set it up for streaming, eCamera StreamYard. I don't use the Elgato Stream Deck, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't have a much of a need for it. Most people like it because they have like the buttons, like you can click and it switch to maybe a second camera. You can click it and it switched to whatever. It's like, for me personally, unless I was doing something more that just will require more for like, I don't like, for me personally, I don't know. I just rather take my mouse and click on the thing that I need to click on, because it's usually very small when it comes to the things I need to change, but I don't use one. I don't own one. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just don't have one or have a need for one. So unfortunately, no tutorials on that because I just don't have one. And so Mike Castle Life is saying, I have to agree with you with the Sony menu now. It's not touch menu. They have similarities, Sony and Canon menus. I have adjusted to Sony now. You're right. I'm big enough to admit that. No worries whatsoever. It's just like, I think that they can make improvements. There's always ways to make things better. I think now too, they're also kind of playing with it. The idea of potentially like, okay, we switched now. Everybody's already used to our stuff. And like, it's like the rumor kind of a thing, or just the saying on YouTube. It's like, Sony was known for overheating back in the day. They fixed that, but it's like people are always still wondering, does it overheat? And it's like, now they have cameras that actually work. Now you got Potato Jet putting them in the oven. It's just like they overheat, and it's just like in the oven. Yes, everything overheats in a place with no air. Yes, it overheats. In direct sunlight of 1,000 hells. Yes, it overheats. Anything would, you would. I don't, it's like, again, just my whole soapbox with that kind of stuff. It's like, I think we all have to be wise in knowing where the separation of listening to YouTubers, me included, it's like, where is our advice stopping short and making sense? For the sake of comparison's sake, for the sake of driving attention. There are things that sometimes that you may see creators do just because, for the views, for the banter, for the back and forth, for the engagement, and this, like, and that. I am more of a person to say, don't listen to me. The hell with what all of us say. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't like the Samson mic and you say, yeah, I don't kind of like it. I like the new Rode, whatever microphone. Then the hell with what I'm talking about. Go get what you want. I think at some point there's a separation between, just being real. Like, when am I ever, okay? And I'm not a small woman. So it's just like, now plus size, carry extra heat. When am I ever gonna be in a 1,000 degrees direct sunlight, burning the hell out of my skin heat, just hot as hell? My camera will never be in that situation because I will never be in that situation. If I have an outdoor shoot that's hot or something like that, even still, I'm more or less, we're not recording in direct sunlight ever because you can't get good lighting, or you would need somebody to hold some kind of diffusion. So even then, you're in somewhat of a shading, or you have a hat with a brim that's large enough that as close as your camera is going to be, it's somewhat shaded right there next to you. And because you physically, your body is going to overheat, the camera is, it's like, why do I expect more out of a piece of equipment than my human body could do? So it's like that separation between things that make sense. Like my house is at like what, 72 degrees right now. When is the camera ever going to overheat? It's cool as hell in here always. Or, you know, it just, I don't make, some of those things don't make sense to me. So that's why I was like the pixel peeping, stuff like that. It's just like, hey, you got to just discern things that make sense, in my opinion. Dr. Cozy, good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying, what's your experience with the EOS utility on Mac? I have not installed it yet because as I do a tutorial for it, I need to record the screens. I had a lot of client work this week, and I took a break last week. So we'll see. I got a lot of videos lined up for today. So I got plenty of work to do. So, and that's on the list of videos to record today, where I need to record what that process is like for tutorial sake. And then 2, I need to see if it sucks, to be honest with you, because I know the PC version sucked in that for whatever reason, people were not getting full HD. They for StreamYard, they're kicking this out. This stream right now at 720p. Even though my camera and everything is at 1080p, which is a full HD. The fact that the Canon side of things, even though it's in beta, it was in like 566 something. Like some people were like, and that's very noticeable. You know, that's like 480p. If you're traveling or something, you can't quite get that higher resolution video that you're watching on YouTube. And it's just like, yeah, that kind of sucks. Like you're helping, but it's like, hey, you want to run a race? And it's just like, yeah, that's great. Here's some brand new shoes. And then you kick you in the knee and it's like start the race. It just, it's like that. So I need to see if it sucks, honestly, and where the hangups are, or if it's amazing and it works. So I don't have experience with it yet because I haven't tested it yet. But when I do, I want to make sure that I do test it extensively, let it run. Does it freeze up? Is it using a lot of resources? I doubt that those are problems. I just think I need to check the resolution on it. So I should have something for y'all pretty cool by that. Saints News New York said, this is Kyle Downey. You were telling a joke. Oh, for when I said LOL. Oh my gosh, we got a dad joke in here saying, Danny, good to see you. Glad to hear your hand say, you want to hear some jokes? So what do you call an Irishman who sits around outside the back door? Patio furniture. What the that was pretty good. Oh my goodness. So we have a comedian in the stream, everybody. Oh, chat, we got said holy chat. No, holy crap, we got a super chat. Crystal Whiting, thank you so much for the super chat, saying, love your streams. I learned so much from you. Or you are so calm. Thank you. My pleasure. I'm glad to be of service. So thank you so much from your home to mine. I appreciate you so much. Crap, we got another super chat saying $20 for the super sticker. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Y'all are amazing. Freaking amazing. Darylyn saying, when you say client work, do you mean video editing? Yeah, video editing as well as video production, which means that I actually go out and do the shoot for the clients. I'm actually recording it. And then 2, most of the time, I'm not just recording the event or the training or something like that. I'm actually editing it as well. So video production, as far as me going to actually record and do the shoot. And then video editing is just video editing. You know, they're actually capturing it or having their team do it. And then I edit the footage for them. So it just depends, but more or less video production. Dr. Cole is saying, thank you, Diana. What I've seen to this point is that it doesn't allow the N50 to be a webcam except on Chrome. Interesting. Interesting. I use Chrome, so that would be something to test. And I'm glad that you said that. I'm gonna make a note of that right now to try it on like Safari and Chrome. I don't know if there are any other kind of things out there, but thank you so much for that tip. I will test it out for the M50 on Mac for the webcam thing and see if that's a problem, because some people like Safari for the browsing and not everybody wants to use Chrome or Google because it's just a resource hog. Yeah, that's freaking Canon. Like I said, it's like, hey, you want to run a race? Here's some brand new shoes, kick you in the knee. And it's just like, good luck. And Danny said, I'm glad you like it. Oh yeah, that was a good one. And so, yeah, okay. So if you guys have any questions, anything that you want to discuss, things like that, you can always go to diana.link/join and hop on. Like we had, I believe, Kayla earlier, hopped on live if you want to ask any questions. And then you can always drop those down. And we got another dad joke. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. So glad you liked it. Okay, so here's another one. Dad joke. How many husbands does it take to screw in a light bulb? Irish men aren't afraid of the dark. Ha ha ha. Strong accent. A testament to all men everywhere. It's just like, no. Just like that reminds me of stuff like from growing up, and it'll be something wrong in the house. And my mom is telling my dad, like, hey, you need to do that. We don't need the time on the stove. You got to watch it. Just like, so we just going to let it blink for 83 eons. And from the day the microwave or the stove get installed, we never adjust the clock because everybody owns a watch. So my daddy said, we don't need one. It's just weirdo stuff. Oh my goodness. So Daryl Lynn saying that this is great content. See you next time. Good to see you, Daryl Lynn. Glad you could be here. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great one. Dr. Cody saying, okay. So I laughed so loud at the Irish joke. I scared everyone in the house. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. I think we at the close of the show. Oh my goodness. Always a pleasure to be here before you guys as well. This is going to cover my face a bit here. But as I said, we're doing a new show for the Video Simplified Q&A show. That's going to be a new weekly show coming to the channel. And so you can go to diana.link/message, leave a actual audio message. You can plug your channel, just like format could be like, hey, this is Diana with Entree Women TV. I have a question about StreamYard. What do you recommend for blah, blah, blah. And so there's going to be a Q&A show. If you're already part of the email list, then you would have seen this come out as well to you. So you have access to that. I got a feeling there's another dad joke because I'm just curious. Okay, no. Mike Castle was saying, Mike Castle Life saying funny Irish joke. And saying it was awesome being here with you guys today. Be safe. God bless you. Same to you, brother. Good to see you saying, sorry. I'm not saying anything. I look forward if you come back next Friday for the next Helpcast. We expect more dad jokes. That is your job now. We need a good laugh. So, we got one more last question coming in here. So, and then Dr. Cozy saying, this is what I get for working until 3 a.m., waking up at 7 and working the rest of the day. Take care and keep the faith. Absolutely. It's, oh my gosh, crazy. I stayed up with my friend until like 6 o'clock, not 6 o'clock, but for 6 hours yesterday. Insane. So Saints News New York, last question, saying, have you ever used Flixer for video editing? No, I used Filmora video editor, and then switched over to Mac so I could use Ecamm Live and Final Cut Pro 10. So those are the only two softwares that I've used for editing. And then, yes, Danny, it's your job now. Every stream you come on, more dad jokes. No more dad jokes. Save them for next week because I got to run. The guys, always a pleasure and an honor. Thank you for your time and your attention. Those that gave super chats, I so greatly appreciate you so much, because you don't have to do that. It's something that you're giving from your heart to my home, and I appreciate that. I do not take that lightly at all. So guys, as always, live with passion. More video content coming to the channel as well. And whether you're watching this live or on the replay, I appreciate you just as much. So guys, take care. And like I said, always live with passion. See y'all on the next video.